Do you ever feel like everything around you is literally falling apart? Do you ever get these this sense of overwhelm inside your head, like, oh, nothing's working? Or do you ever feel like things that are completely beyond your control are about to take your business down, or they're about to kill your reach on the social platforms, or something that has really worked that you were counting on for a really long time as a creator, a marketer, or entrepreneur, all of a sudden stopped working and you flip out? Well, first of all, let me tell you, welcome to the human race. However, there is a way that we can think. There is a way that we can solve this. I have been through a lot of these kind of struggles, especially over the last few years. And what I'd love to share with you right now is how to react to these kind of things, how to react when nothing seems to be going well, when everything seems to be falling apart. Well, first of all, I'll take you back to a story. The year was 2020. It was March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. There were thousands of us at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego, and this thing called COVID was starting to happen. And I remember standing around a bunch of speakers, really high-profile speakers who were looking at their phones, and text message after text message, canceling speaking gig. Another speaker saying, I just had 10 canceled. Another one saying, I just had 20 canceled. All of a sudden, these professional speakers' business models literally came crashing down all around them. And this happens actually a lot. And it wasn't just COVID, obviously, but maybe it even happened to you. There's so many situations that happen where everything seems to be really working well, and then all of a sudden, abrupt stop, something isn't working. So what ought we do? How ought we think about this? First thing, I think, is to take a breath. Take a pause when you're in that kind of situation. Avoid the temptation that we as humans have, which is to flee, to quit, to flip out, to think that the sky is falling. Don't make any rash decisions when you're in this take a breath moment. Simply retreat from your circumstance and ask yourself, all right, what am I going to do? I remember I had a discussion with my team at Social Media Examiner. All right, this COVID thing, I think is going to last for 3 months. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to buckle down. We're going to ride out the storm. That was how we went about it in the very beginning. The second thing that you want to do after taking a breath is to reflect on your own past. There's a really good chance that you've been around for any length of time. You remember other problems that you have faced either in your professional life or in your private life. Maybe it's the loss of a job. Maybe it's, loss of a major client. I know that happened to me back when I used to own an agency. When those kind of situations happen, what did you learn from those situations? What did you do right? What did you do wrong? When you get a chance to reflect on the past, then you can at least give yourself a moment to say, all right, what did I learn from having been through emergencies before? Okay, for those that are watching, I'm trying something brand new. I am giving myself a sticky note. And I have a sticky note literally underneath the lens of the camera here. And I'm trying not to look down at the sticky note because I don't want y'all to think that I want to just give the perception that I have it all in my brain. But what I did this time was I wrote down a series of notes. So if you see me look down, that's why I'm looking at the sticky notes. First, we talked about taking a breath. Then we talked about remembering the past. The third thing is to avoid following the herd. So if you're in a situation where there is a systemic problem going on in your industry, for example, right now, if you're a writer, artificial intelligence, for example, is a big threat to you, right? I believe that what you should do is avoid going where the whole herd goes. If you've ever watched these videos where all these animals kind of have this herd mentality, they stick together in a pack and they do it for safety reasons, right? And it's their instinct to just follow the herd. Wherever they're going is the right place to be going. But the truth is, generally speaking, if we follow the herd, that may not be the right thing to do. It might just be, we all have faith that someone is leading the herd and the people at the front of the line know where they're going, but that's not always the case. I prefer to take a position of, I don't want to follow the herd. Instead, I want to kind of hold back and I want to watch what's happening. Where is the herd going? Why are they going in that direction? Is there wisdom behind the direction that they're going in? Or do they assume that someone who's doing something has figured it all out, so let's all rush in? I don't, oftentimes inside my company, I tell everyone, when everyone zigs, we zag. Because I think there's wisdom in being different than what everyone else is doing. Because when everyone else does this, then you have no way of differentiating yourself as a marketer or creator or an entrepreneur. Avoid the herd. The fourth thing is to seek advice. Seek wisdom from people who have experienced this kind of problem in the past. This is where you can go to some of your gray-haired friends who maybe have been creators for a while or marketers or entrepreneurs and ask them, I'm sure you faced crises. What did you do when this happened? How ought I reframe my thinking about this? Many of them will tell you the following. It's generally never as bad in the beginning as everyone makes it out to be. And sometimes what ends up happening, some of these entrepreneurs might tell you, is people go out of business or they quit. And then all of a sudden there's still demand for this kind of product or service. And you're one of the few that remains behind. So maybe they'll tell you to hold the line, to keep going. Maybe they'll tell you to diversify your services. I don't know, but you need to seek someone who can give you advice and counsel that will allow you to make really intelligent and rational and wise decisions. Okay, the last part of the process here when you're experiencing a lot of chaos, a lot of disruption, is to experiment. And I think this is really important. Instead of saying we're going to go all in on this or we're going to go all in on this, plant lots of seeds, metaphorically. Water those various seeds, knowing some of them will never germinate. But when you plant lots of seeds, when some of them grow, to your surprise, you might be like, oh, well, let's do a little bit more of this over here, or let's do a little bit more of this over here. Now, this is just a couple of thoughts off the top of my head on how to deal with crazy disruptive change. What I would love to hear from you is, how do you go about doing this? I would love to hear your comments, and I'd also love to hear what other videos and topics would you like me to talk about. Thank you very much. My name is Michael Stelzner. Talk to you soon.